factor as this game goes on.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get the game. See, the previous major winners don't want to.
Give me a sec. Let me just scroll up. James, he was asking for Dota Plus, right? And Gabby was like, okay, give us a slot.
Gonna say hello to KP up at the top lane. He may have given his life away though. Nando, KP gonna chase him down. Tim's is there as well. He fairy fires as well.
With the poison.
Yeah, that's
There was no need for that fairy fire. Like, fair enough, but surely you just understand.
Off the bat, he needs to escalate. You've given KP a good start. We have not seen this guy get a good start in a long time. In fact, they get the arrow and Grims as well.
Tim's, he's on fire already. Not playing around this man. He's been pretty consistent throughout the whole qualifier. Just been playing excellent on that position 4 role. Of course, this game he's planning to step it up a notch. We'll have a quick look at the other lanes as well. Jamesy, that Ember Spirit up against Armel and the Lena. We've seen this. Tim does have leap charges, does have an arrow. Will rather just commit it on one of the jungle creeps instead, and he'll just follow Grims down. He doesn't really mind. Grims is low on mana, low on HP. All 3 lanes going in the favor of TNC. They each find a kill.
Yeah, it's going really rough. I mean, 5-0. You're finding these solo kills left, right, and center. Signal's laning phase is just falling apart. They should be stronger than this with the Undying, with the Venomancer, but it's really not going as planned here for Signal. TNC just leveraging their, I suppose, experience and confidence up against this team quite well.
Man, just look at KP on this Viper. He is just making their lives hellish up at this top lane. Just a constant poison attack spam. And look at Nando. His health, he just came back. It drops all the way down. That KP, are you going to dive? You are not. He doesn't even bother skilling up the toxin yet. He just wants to spam poison attacks, and I can't blame him. In fact, he brings out a clarity now. And this just isn't going to end for Nando. He wants to come back into the last hit. He's got a regen. You might be able to cancel off the clarity, but it may cost you your life if you do. And Nando thinks better of it. He just runs the other way.
He's gonna have a rough time escalating from here. He had to go for a 2-1 build. No levels in flak because he wanted to play kind of aggressive with his Undying, which means he's really not gonna be clearing out these camps early on. I mean, he's gonna rely on that rocket barrage rather than the flak. Still gonna be a rough time progressing for the top lane of Signal. I don't reckon he does. He's level 5 at 6 minutes in. He's got a good amount of last hits, a good amount of kills. I don't think the pressure you want to see on an AIM lane is coming out from Signal so far. He's just gonna go back, shrine up, go back in lane, maybe find a couple of kills once his support is back, and rinse and repeat.
Looking back over to mid, the T1's almost gone. It's deniable now for Jamesy, and he's going to try and force Armel out of the lane. Armel quite low on mana, so he can't really go for his LSA, Laguna, and Dragon Slave combination. Rather, he's just going to provide a bit of harassment towards Jamesy before he does back off, but Jamesy is going to be forced to deny this T1. In fact, Armel tries to go back for it. He won't quite be there in time, but at the very least for TNC, now there's no T1 mid tower.
A tier 1 sub 7 minutes.
Tim's going to find the courier of Nando top lane, but they are going to try and chase him down. Homing missile will be there, but KP will also be there to protect. They will drop the tombstone. Grimm's feeling confident enough to keep chasing. Tims will leap away, though those zombies are chasing, but Tims will survive. And, well, I suppose you should just protect that tombstone, but KP's going to go clean it up, it looks like. Well, at least Grimm's get the deny off.
It's a pretty massive commitment to throw out the tombstone like that, though. It's a long cooldown. You don't have a huge mana pool, so that takes away from any of your harassment spells. You're not going to have too much left in the tank here for Grims.
It does seem very... just trying to find anything they can get. And you can't really blame them. They must know how far behind they are already. Even Nando, like you... There's not much he can do, don't get me wrong, but it's just not a good sight to behold. At the very least, Jamesy does find Armel in the mid lane. That's a massive pick-off for the Ember, finding an important kill onto the Lina. If James start to snowball on this Ember, he could buy enough time for this gyrocopter to get up and online. Meanwhile, though, bot lane looks like they have down Eris once again. Gabby will just commit the mana void and find the kill. Van throws out the hoof stomp, but I wouldn't recommend sticking around. March has another stop. He'll throw it out now. Gabby, I doubt they'll keep chasing. But there is another rotation coming in from Armel. He's her up, so he really just requires an LSA to land. Van will salve up, but March, he's getting in range for that stun. And yeah, I think Van may just be dead now. Stun comes out, Armel with the follow-up, and he is gone. 9-3 now, 9 minutes in. So, complete domination from TNC.
I don't see what Signal's game plan is here. Like, they are trying to rotate heroes out. They still haven't found the pressure they want. They've left Nando alone up top against a Viper, and that's not a really good lane for Gyrocopter. His laning presence isn't as strong. There's no tier 1 up top left, so they really don't have any way of backing Nando up as well if he gets jumped, which looks like he is.
Yep, potentially. Tims doesn't even need to throw the arrow. He could just Moonlight Shadow and run in. He won't, though, as Nando does disappear off the map. In fact, he will TP into the mid lane now, so he finds himself a wave to farm, and this is all he can do. He just has to look around the map and see what he can get. Though bot lane, Gabby getting low, but they will find him. Grims, nice soul rip to confirm the kill. He did rotate down to secure that with Van. And again, if they can just continue to do that, they could bring themselves back into this game.
Definitely. They will be able to take this tier 1 down bot as well, giving themselves some space to play around with. So they've got one lane where they can confidently farm without worrying about the teleportations in too much.
Looks like Gabby's actually going for that the old school Battle Fury build on the AM. That brings back some memories. He'll grab the treads now. We'll go straight into the B Fury after that. And so off a nice little broom handle as well.
much.
are going to go onto the Ember though. Stampede is going to be there. Now the rotations from TNC. The swap from March, perfect though. Jamesy going to run it back to the hill, but the arrow, Tims!
Was well done.
What a prediction from the Marana. And Eris going to get stunned up by Armel. And it's a double kill for the Lena.
It's the humiliation.
And Tims is on fire this game.
He definitely is, and that was really well executed all around from TNC. That was a deep dive for March from Signal. They were trying to dive the Venge under the tier 2, knowing that the teleports were up, and it just doesn't pay off so badly that Armel still has Laguna. He did not expend it there at all. You might be able to find another kill if you're not careful.
Certainly. Looks like Jamesy does have eyes on him. They do have an observer ward where Armel is, and they are starting to group up around Armel. It'll be another very nice kill if they can find him, though. Nando drops a very early call now. Jamesy does get the chains off at least. Armel, can you juke yourself out of this one? TPs are coming in, the homing missile will connect, but March jumps in. Can he stop this? He definitely can with the stun, but now the tombstone Armel still so low. LSA, he hits 3 of them. They still find the kill, though. Arrow from Tims. Can they turn this? It looks like they will not, as March does also go down. And Signal Ultra find themselves 2 kills, but more importantly, they find Melina, and they will take the outpost.
That is a pretty big win for Signal, probably one of the most convincing wins they've had so far. It is a start of something. They are certainly starting to build up here. Fortunately enough, you had your 2 cores there to soak up the AoE stuff as well. So you have injected yourself with a bit of sign of life there. You do still want to build up here. TNC, they are playing really aggressive, so that was definitely a very optimistic move from them. It does look like they are pinging out the wards now. A lot of X marks coming out from Armel, so he knows something's up in that area, and we'll see whether or not Signal can maintain this pretty decent vision game they have up top. They've got to maintain it elsewhere in the map, though. Once that's gone, or if ever TNC stops going up there, Signal, they've got to keep an eye on the movements from TNC. They're just really aggressive so far. They understand that they've got a pretty good advantage, and they can really just apply that pressure to buy space for Gabby to farm up.
He's certainly getting there as well. Closer and closer to the Battle Fury now. Only needs Demon Edge and the Void Stone. You'd imagine he probably will get it in maybe 3 to 4 minutes maximum for Gabby. And once that Battle Fury is up, the AM shenanigans begin. Of course, Grims putting some wards down deep into the jungle of TNC. Looks like TNC are just happy to sit back and relax for a bit. They're not too interested in pursuing while that Battle Fury is not up.
Denied.
Signal will oblige though. I mean, they definitely need space. You do have a pipe now coming up on the Centaur though, so they may feel more comfortable to smoke up or go for a gank attempt. And it looks like they are going to try and go after Gabby in the mid lane. Though Gabby has left lane now, does go to the safety of his own jungle. But no, he will return back into the mid lane. This could be an opening for Signal. They'd have to do it very quickly though. And it looks like they won't take it either. They're going down bot. And meanwhile, top lane, it looks like they have found the gyro. Still, they will not follow up.
Huh.
Perhaps expecting the rotations. Nando drops the call down and they take that as, uh-oh, we better get the hell out of here. TNC missed out on a very easy kill on the position 1 gyro.
That is pretty surprising from TNC. I think after that last fight went bad, they are kind of reeling in the aggression, trying not to overextend under any sort of TP area. The tier 2 tower is, so not wanting to overextend too much. They don't have all of their forces up top. Would want a bit more information before they get that done, and it does look like Signal is starting to pull out of that bot lane, although they have left Van to really just keep farming up here.
Van, pretty desperate for that blue dagger. He certainly will need it. Try and counter these team fights when they do come in. He's going to start forcing in that T2 bot tower as well, and March is the only man there trying to defend.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
We'll see
attack.
Grims pop up, and again, the tombstone.
Radiant's bottom
Looks like he will do it, so he buys a bit of space for Van, but perhaps a little bit unnecessary. They won't have it now if they want to go into a team fight for the next minute or so. Gabby. They get ganked here, surrounded, but they don't really have that blink yet to get the surprise stun off. Now KP will rotate it. They're not willing to allow the T1 to go down. Arrow, not land. And, well, there's the Battle Fury on Gabby now, so he's more than happy to just keep wasting as much time as possible, just keep farming up. But James, he's gonna try and go after Gabby, gets the chains off. This could be dangerous though, Armel is there. He gets the Yules into the LSA, but no, a nice sleight of fist rim to dodge. And that actually bought time, Signal to take that T1 mid tower.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice win there for Signal. They have taken a lot of objectives off the map now. They've taken that tier 2 down bot, that tier 1 mid, and TNC does feel like they have slipped up a bit, giving away a lot of map control back to Signal. That does allow them to pop back into this game. Less than around a 2k lead for TNC now over Signal, but they are playing a farm game up against heroes that are also farming up decently. Look, Nando has not had the best of times. All things considered, he's just about 800 gold behind the free farm AA. That's not bad considering how hard of a lane Nando had.
That is true. It's impressive how fast he caught up. Van now also has the blink coming out on the Centaur, so they may find that they want to smoke up, and it looks like they are starting to group up for that smoke. And there it is, 5-9 smoke coming in. I don't believe that was envisioned, though it could have been close.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Signal. They're going to run into Gabby. That'll be a massive kill. Moonlight Shadow, they're already there, but they get the stun off and they will burst Gabby down. Great play there from Signal Ultra. They look for more now. They know that TNC is around the outpost on the east side of the map. Jamesy, sleight of fist, won't connect on March, so he gets the magic missile. Now the LSA into the arrows, straight on this Ember. They burst him down. Van gets split up by the Viper, but now the Poison Nova comes out as well. Not doing too much as well. 3-man LSA from Armel. Van getting low and should drop here. In fact, he does. TNC look to punish even further. Nando's caught out. You can't TP underneath the outpost. It gives vision. And they can see him exactly through the tree line. With that TNC, they lose the AM. They find 3 more for the cause. I say they're pretty happy about that.
They definitely are. One key thing that secured that kill at the start on the Centaur while he was running away was the fact that Armel drove bow and he had the vent around him. So his attack range was just ridiculous. He could keep orb walking even at a really dumb range. So the projectiles did land in the end, and it gave them that one kill on top of everything else.
Signal Ultra, they group up again down that bot lane. TNC are still around the area. Still most of their ultimates up. The only one missing is the Moonlight Shadow. Still, Signal will take that outpost just before that 20-minute mark, and TNC not want to contest. So XP will split between both teams. Should be a two boundary trade, as well as Gabby is already up at the top lane and he can just take the bounties for his team. Classic carry fashion, he refuses and would rather farm. Armel looking to buy a BKB. We'll have it up pretty darn soon as well. Almost has the goal to buy it outright. Nando, meanwhile, trying to finish off that Sergeant Yasha on the gyrocopter. And Jamesy is actually going for the Battle Fury build on the Ember Spirit. Something we haven't seen in a long time.
That is a bit indicative that they are expecting to try to play this towards the late game. So pulling out of the emphasis on magic damage is pretty good if you're planning to go late. You also have to wonder about the effectiveness of a magic build up against an AM. That's really not going to pay off too well. You're not going to be able to burst that mean carry. So I suppose you physical.
Smoke is there from Signal Ultra. They are going to run into Gabby, but it looks like Tims will be there to break the smoke, and he does, but Van has found the stun, so Tims should just be dead, though. He does get the Yules off, and will allow the leap. He'll leap straight towards the Tombstone. They don't get the chains off, though. Soul Rip is nice, and the Remnant does come in from Jamesy. So Signal, they do get something out of that smoke. Not only a hero kill, but it looks like they will confirm taking down that T1 top tower.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's a good set of objectives coming out the way of Signal. Once again, they are slowly chipping away at
Radiant's
these
top tower has
objectives
fallen.
on the map. You know, they're keeping themselves in the game. They're not actually being run over by TNC. TNC is just having to take it slow because of their AM pick here.
Signal TPing down to the bot lane. Gabby will be alright for now. We'll just continue farming away. And Gabby just trying to go into the Manta style, and it looks like he wants to go for the heart straight after that, though. Top lane, KP does get chained up on the Viper. Signal, though, he will not attempt to pursue those kills. Again, Signal just more than happy to spy as much time as Nando. Like, as long as Nando's farming, they couldn't care less. And Nando, now that 10k net worth mark has finally caught up. We'll have the full Sergeant Yasha up soon, within maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
That's going to be really helpful for Signal, just knowing that their gyrocopter is still maintaining farm parity with TNC. I think that is a point of concern for TNC. Normally, anti-mages do operate in a bit of item advantage compared to everyone else. Based off that farm speed and mobility, it's not quite there yet for Gabby. He's still escalating. He still has a couple items to build up. The Manta style is up, so he's going to be a bit safer from the disables that Signal does have. He is still a very squishy target, working towards his heart next. That should give him a lot more to play with.
I want to go for Armel on the lane of the Armel going TP, though the hoof stop Van. He predicts it perfectly. He can't even believe it himself. So the LSA, he'll try and turn it around. Armel, PKBs now. Shadowblade? Does he actually get out? They drop detection. Armel, no.
Dire's top tower
He didn't want to
is
take
under
the death,
attack.
but hold on a minute. Top lane, John. Gabby going after the tier 3s now. Signal. They will bring in Jamesy to defend, and it looks like that's all that's going to be required.
They're trying to get their own push going down bot as well. They've got 3 heroes here.
Illusion. Radiant
KP
structures
is
are
going to be thinking about this. Jamesy, Remnant's in, he wants to go up to KP. Mind you, KP doesn't have much help, but here comes Tips. Call down will be there, but there's the poison over as well. KP falling very low. March will swap him away from Jamesy. No heroes going down quite yet. In fact, Jamesy is not done. He wants to go for more. He does eventually back off, but Signal Ultra find a tier 3 tower. Meanwhile, Gabby is ratting the top lane, and now TNC, they're going to try and punish March. Can he get in range for a swap?
Radiant's bottom barracks are under
It looks like he probably will not, but Gabby is still going up at the top lane. He doesn't care. Buy him more time, they say. Now Armel TP's in, still chasing. Chains will be there from Jamesy, and that'll stop the chase. Or maybe it won't. Yules will be there at least on the Venomancer. And so Eris should be going down, and he will. They didn't quite manage to find that tier 3 either. Signal made it in time to defend. And so now we find the Dire side actually ahead. They'll have the ability to take out shrines from the Radiant side. This is just something I wasn't expecting, just based off what happened at the start of this game.
Definitely, it does look like Signal is putting up quite the fight here. They can get stuff done if they play their cards right like this. TNC, they really are putting everything they have into Gabby. They trust in this guy a lot. They allow him to just push like that. despite the fact that they've lost to tier 3. Fortunately enough for TNC, they still have 2 outer towers left, so the other towers can't be pushed out just yet. If they want to take that high ground, Signal will have to focus only on the racks or take out those tier 2s down mid and top as well before taking anything else up there.
Radiant are scanning.
James, he has the Battle Fury up, almost has the BKB up now. He's starting to get very, very scary on this Ember Spirit. Because like you mentioned before, he is building into that late game build, so you always have the backup of just going for Daedalus and Divines if you really want. Of course, we haven't had the pleasure of seeing a game go past 70 minutes yet, so we haven't seen any tier 5 items. Of course, I'm sure there's some ridiculous items that Ember Spirit could take advantage of if they did drag it out that far.
Yeah, that would be one to see. I'm not sure if I want to wish us to see a 17-minute game though, Mike. You gotta be careful with what you wish for there. Would you like Tinker in the next match along with...
God, don't you say that name. How do you?
And Artboard, Mike.
No.
On opposite teams. Come on.
John, if
that's a dream.
it happens, sir, I will turn off the stream. I will send you your unemployment letter, and that'll be the end of that. TNC, Roshan is being taken. Roshan will go away for free. TNC will just go ahead and sneak it their way. Moonlight Shadow and just get the hell out.
You know, the net worth advantage that TNC had has really shrunk down. It's down to just 2k at 28 minutes in. They still have the lead. It's not as wide as you'd want, especially since you have an AM. It's almost like having an Alchemist. You want an item advantage on this hero. You don't expect it to be that massive, but perhaps one 4k item ahead is really the bar, I'd say, for something like the AM at this point. And we're not quite there. Gabby's in the lead in terms of net worth, about 2k ahead, which is good. You'd want that to be a bit higher, just to make sure, like, say he has a heart before anyone else has a counter item, or he has his butterfly before the MKBs are up. That's really going to be the key thing that allows Gabby to be a menace in case he's ever jumped. It looks like he is much more happy to just kind of rat it out. Take it slow, farm up, apply pressure in lanes, and distract Signal from getting any of their aggression down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
BKB forced out from Nando. That was his 10-second charge. He's going to go in now. He wants to make use of it. Call down will not land, and now Armel wants to switch it around as well, but the LSA does not connect, but another swap from March. But now Eris just forced stuffs out of there. Poison Sting community even. They're going to go for this fight now. Eris is gone immediately, and Van could be in trouble, but they get March on the bench. Now the Stampede, Laguna even flying out. They get the tombstone down thanks to Gabby. The Ember, LSA, no, Jamesy, he'll BKB up, he just runs forward. He didn't have the slot and just remnants out.
Oh my god, this is one mess of a fight. Definitely TNC's fight. Like they are very happy with what they've gained there. They force out the BKBs, they found a support for a support, but they drain out all those big BKB charges. You're really gonna be happy about that. It is just a 10-second to 9. So it's still gonna be a long charge for both sides, for both heroes, but you're not gonna be too happy about that first BKB use if you're Signal.
Looking back over at Jamesy, it looks like he's going into a Desolator next, so just amplifying that damage build. Of course, we can't be if there's a Desolator level 2 now, if you get that far into the game. Is quite obnoxious, to say the least. It's like Nando's going to have a Satanic up by the looks of it. He just needs to pick up the Reaver. It's only a couple hundred gold away from that. So slowly but surely, this Gyrocopter is starting to look scarier and scarier. Still though, you look at Gabby now. He has a heart up, and you do have the Viper Ags coming out as well. So 10 seconds on the Viper Strike ultimate. And well, it looks like they found Van. Gabby being straight into him, breaks his smoke. Signal, do you really want to fight this? TNC's right behind him in the smoke. They do jump in Van. He gets the Hootstop bomb. The AM is way too tanky to burst down though. Gabby will just blink out of there. Now the call down, March, he could go down, I suppose, on the bench, but he'll force staff out. They should be able to at least find the support, but now Gabby jumps in onto Grims. He wants that Undying. Eris with the poison over as well, but really nobody is dropping apart from March. But it looks like TNC do not want to borrow this team fight. In fact, they will lose KP on the Viper. In the back lines, and a Void was thrown out by Gabby. Jamesy is going to find KP eventually after that Helm of the Undying wears off. Gabby does manage to TP out, but Signal Ultra once again winning a team fight. And why is that Undying running over the cliff?
Scanning.
Spider legs. All right.
I want to point something out from that last fight. It's pretty badly timed from TNC. Understandably, they just got the heart
Dire's
under
bottom
AM,
tower
but
is under
right when they
attack.
force it out, Nando already just picked up his... Oh, he just popped that on, popped his flat cannon on, and he wasn't dying, which caused major issues for TNC. They've got to tighten up the fights they take here because they are slipping a lot of ground to Signal. I mean,
Yeah.
TNC is supposed to be a team that's on a different level in Southeast Asia. Signal is looking pretty darn good up against these guys.
They sure are. They're gonna go for more. Gabby,
boy.
he just blinked. They will not initiate though.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Did have a haste rune anyway, so he probably would have been all right.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
See, gonna remnant in. TNC aren't around to try and go after that Ember. He had plenty of help anyway. It's like TNC are just trying to focus on it again.
There is a smoke from Signal though.
They're feeling confident. Arrow to scout, but of course he won't go through the smoke. Smoke on smoke, but there's a stampede, but they miss Armel, and now they run straight into TNC, but this could be bad for Signal. LSA comes up, no, it actually looks great for Signal as Gabby jumps in. They got the Centaur, they found March on the bench. A 1-for-1 so far. Gabby just trying to take that tombstone out. Meanwhile, James, he finds Armel on the leaner and now is looking for more. KP will manage to TP out. No, the chains connects just barely.
Oh no.
Will Viper strike from the grave, but Jamesy will be fine. He does find the Viper, and that's going to be another 3 heroes going down for the one for Signal
Radiant's
Ultra.
middle tower is under attack.
It looked really bad for Signal when they missed their initiation. It didn't matter. They are really strong right now. They've got all their talents up. They've got all their items up and on their cores.
Dire's courier has been
TNC, what can he do about this? Armel is just getting picked off every single time. And they need him for damage and control. He's just not able to provide it anymore.
Radiant structures are
It's going to be the first racks of the game going down. The range racks is now gone. TNC going to try and defend. They don't have buybacks on KP or Armel. I mean, missile going back towards Nando. He'll have to take that. Tim's now doesn't connect with the arrow. Cutting Greaves will purge off the chains, but now March starting to fall low once again. And yeah, easy racks. They just leave the base. No need to rush this. In fact, as they're running back, Fan will run past the double damage. Checks the Roshan, but there's still a minute till we find out when that's going to be up. But all is running very, very smooth for this Dire side.
Definitely is. I mean, it looked like a rough start from that laning phase. It looked rough in that mid game, but right now, Signal is ahead. They've taken the first set of racks. They've got a slight net worth advantage up against an AM. So most of that gold that TNC does have is on Gabby, and they are still slightly behind, slightly ahead every now and again. Pretty even is probably the best way to describe it, and that's not what we want to be seeing. When on your side, that's not the case for TNC. They really have a couple of holes to plug in their fights. Their initiation is just not going well.
Another smoke. They made it slightly obvious the smoke was happening thanks to that cooldown of Nando. And so instead, they are going to go for that top shrine. March will just kind of sneak past them.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
So one shrine gone. In fact, make that 2. Sorry, one of the bot jungle. It's gone a while ago.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Jamesy is now building into a Daedalus, excuse me, and we'll have it pretty soon. Just needs about 600 gold.
It's gonna be a very scary Ember Spirit. I do prefer this kind of play coming out. It's much more fun to see, and we're at that point where a physical Ember really does start to take over a magical Ember at this point, right? Like the emphasis on these item buildups, the fact that Jamesy has found that farm anyway, and will probably keep escalating during his push. It's just gonna make him a majorly hard factor to deal with. It makes it that much harder for TNC to find any of these pickoffs that they were finding earlier on.
Viper strike on to Nando. Of course, again, isn't an Aghanim Scepter Viper, so he can just afford to just spam those out. Eris now does have the Scythe of Vice, which is quite scary. That AM not going to be as safe. Of course, Gabby didn't go for a BKB, so he really has no way of avoiding it apart from perhaps the counter spell. But bot lane looks like they have initiated March. We'll swap out KP, but KP is still going to be in trouble. He does manage to run out of range. So, Signal, they'll take the final outer tower for TNC.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Roshan going to be up in about 45 seconds. So they can just wait out that ages before they try to push a high. Yeah.
Definitely, that is going to give them a lot more to play with as well. They would have to be a bit worried about the team fight that could break out. Although overall, I'd give Signal a slight advantage actually in a tight area like that. They do have the Undying, the Tombstone's going to be a big part. The Gyrocopter enjoys it when people clump up. So does the Ember Spirit. The Centaur can get the control in that the team needs, and the Vandal is just really annoying.
KB's up, Satanic popped as well. He's trying to just buy time for his team to help him out. Van, he'll run in. They couldn't quite kill him off in time. And now here comes Jamesy. It's going to be a lot of damage out of this Ember if they're not too careful. And it looks like they are at least going to end up finding KP once again on the Viper. Now Van looking for March. He will find him, but he cops a magic missile. But they found a pretty nice pickup in the Viper. Gabby is still split pushing the bot lane, though he's trying to apply some sort of pressure to force them back. And he's going to go back up to that top lane, go after the tier 3, and he will be able to claim it. In fact, he might find the racks. They aren't going back, they're actually trying to find the mid racks themselves. March swapping somebody out, but he's going to pay for it with his life. The buybacks fly out, poison for committed as well. Now Gabby forgets about the racks. He wants to take the team fight. Jumping onto Van Nando, though. He'll turn around and fight him. Jamesy, he's doing so much damage. They found the gyro, though. The buybacks again flying out from the side of TNC. Jamesy falling lower and lower. Oh, Tibbs, he leaped into a sleight of fist. Now Gabby's still trying to find another target. He will find Grims on the Undying. An absolute mess in the mid lane. TNC do manage to defend, I suppose. I wouldn't go as far as saying it was really in their favor. It was a lot of buybacks being expended, though.
Definitely so. It's not the cleanest fights coming out from TNC. At the very least, they still hold on to their one set of racks. So you're probably going to be very happy about that. They didn't manage to get any significant damage done to those top set of racks on Signal's side, though. We are starting to see Gabby really come in line. I would like to see a defensive item up on him. He is going for an Abyssal first, but I think once you give him something like a BKB to play around with, you are going to be a bit happier. You're going to be much safer when you jump in. You basically negate the entirety of their control, and you can just be right in the middle of everyone perfectly fine.
Gabby's going to be scouted at that Roshan pit. Viper strike onto Eris is going to pick up a fair bit of damage out of that. It's Roshan. Are they going to fight? Jamesy could go for a steal. We'll scan out the Roshan HP again, but it is very, very low. There's a Stampede back. He gets the stop off. Swamp out from March. Roshan down with the Aegis. Gabby's picked it up just in the nick of time. They're going to lose March on the Venge, but can they punish Eris? He'll get the Scythe device off on the AM, but no follow-up damage to it. Van, he's dropping as well. The Centaur's gone now. They found the Ember with the bash, but Gabby, he's out of position. He'll blink out once again. Now B is chained up. The TP cancelled off, and it looks like they'll lose the Viper.
Haste
But at the very least, they did manage to pick up the Aegis onto Gabby. They weren't able to steal it on the side of Signal Ultra. Still though, with two heroes with no buyback available, Signal are going to rush straight through mid.
It's going to be a very hard defense for TNC here. They definitely need all their tools here to get that going. They do get the Abyssal up on Gabby, so he could leverage that in this next fight.
Radiant structures are
I don't know how effective it's going to be if they get Megged. Arrow, Nando almost takes it. There goes that secondary Rax. They go straight to the third. So there's that Abyssal coming in. He jumps straight on the Ember, but Jamesy does not go down. Now the Hoof Stomp. The AM's in trouble. Where's the Scythe device? He used it previously. Looks like Gabby will be able to blink away.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Arrow does land onto Nando. They are going to lose this final set of racks, but Gabby is trying to protect himself from Megas. He gets stunned up again though. Still no BKB, and now the Hex comes out. Gabby can't afford to die, and he will still manage to blink away. But TNC have been Megged. Game just gets a hell of a lot harder now for this Radiant side.
Oh boy, it's going to be very hard to fight up against this. Of course, it's always hard playing up against Megas. TNC, you would expect them to be a team that can make that happen. We are starting to see the higher tier drops coming in now as well. So that could really help the cause here for TNC, help out in these fights. They have a lot of ground to recover though. They are so far behind in terms of map control. Net worth is still looking okay. It's a 2k advantage for Signal, which is for TNC because most of their gold is just riding on Gabby anyway. But if they can somehow get a few good drops, and looks like Gabby is actually queuing up the Divine. Honestly, I'm not sure about that. He has no defensive items, besides he has the Manta, if you want to call it that, and the Heart, but he has nothing to stop himself from being stun locked.
But what other
The key issue
you have, right?
That's fair enough. You're at the point in the game where the damage is really lacking. The Divine does make sense. It just doesn't feel great to be forced to buy that.
But it needs a true strike as well, like, up against the Gyro. So I mean, we can understand. I agree with you though. It's definitely not the position you want to be in. The true strike is going to help it go up against Nando's Butterfly, as Gabby doesn't really have an MKB or anything like that. It's rough. It's certainly rough for TNC, but they are holding on for now. Now a Nullifier though will come out from Eris. There's that Willis Shaco showing up, so someone's getting plus 1,000 health from the side of TNC. I like the fact that they gave KP that Timeless Relic, so he has a longer debuff duration. Work well with the Viper Strike.
Definitely. It does give him a bit more utility as well. I mean, basically he's just there to debuff. Almost like the Venomancer at this point in the game. I believe Eris just has a bit more utility with her item build. But they're just doing this to him. Throw out all your spells before you die. Make sure a lot of people are ticking down, and that's basically it.
Another Witless Shaco.
Dire's top shrine.
Drop the signal this time around. They will at least find some Dire Shrines while they're up top. Gabby's still holding on to that gold. He needs to save for buyback as well. What item do you even replace for that Divine? Like, are you just gonna have to wait out that Aegis, I guess?
More than likely, it's probably gonna have to be the Aegis. I don't see them ditching anything else. Maybe the Battle Fury? You could make a case that it's outrun its usefulness, especially compared to the Divine, but I'm not sure. It really depends on Gabby at this point. It does feel like he's gonna be on the edge here. Once he buys that, he won't have buyback.
But they've got a mini Hex now as well. Princess Knife is to be on Tim, so 1.5 second Hex on that first attack. I guess it's another way of controlling up either the Ember or Nando on that Gyro.
Alright, it does look like Gabby switched out. We are going for an MKB instead.
I mean, I guess it works, but I mean, if
I was kind of into the all-in, you know? It's like the damage is still lacking, even with True Strike. You just don't have the hitters. Armel, Selena, kitted out for right-click damage yet. It's all still focusing on that magical kit, and it's just not enough anymore. Especially when you take a look at the HPs on Signal's side. That's a 5k HP Centaur. That's a 3k HP Undying, who gets more strength as the fight drags out. You're not gonna burst these heroes down.
certainly true.
Oh, KP.
Jump in, they found KP. March again saving the Viper. He's still caught out though. Stampede there as well. They really want to kill KP off, and they do. They find anything else? It looks like they will find March on the Venge. Well, now the buyback immediately out from KP. March will go down. He has his own buyback, but it looks like Signal are ready to try and finish off this game. Gabby, who's he jumped on? He goes straight after Grims on the Undying. So there's one hero gone. He'll buy back, but now Eris gets the heads up into the hoof swap. They don't have the follow-up damage yet, though. Eris commits the Poison Nova. Gabby's still trying to fight the backlines. Now the swap from March to Nando puts him out of position. They'll find the kill. It's a big pickup for the side of TNC. And this should stop the push attempt coming out from Signal. March, this game has been so on point, John. How many swaps has he made to save his teammates? Just that one swap alone does make it so they stop this this ancient push that was coming from Signal Ultra.
Oh, it's really good plays from March that are stalling out these fights, and the fact that Gabby can now hit stuff with his MKB is certainly helping. Like, he's actually pumping out some damage on these, and of course we are probably going to reach that point where a couple of heroes will hit that level 30. It looks like that to be the first one, slowly inching towards that 29, and then up next we would have Jamesy. So that's going to be a massive spike for both heroes when it does come out, and it's going to be interesting to see that in play here. Actually, we have not seen that happen just yet.
No, we certainly haven't. Grims has a Hex up as well on the Undying, by the way. So, two-side device, although Mel is going to spot him out. Grims will just blink away and then just casually runs through the ditch. Now the Stampede, so he just keeps running over cliffs. And Grims lives. These spider legs look like a pretty curious kind of item.
They're kind of funny. Like, they do replace boots. They do count as boots, apparently. I think they're pretty good. Like, 24% move speed, 30% turn rate is actually super undervalued. I think a lot of people never notice turn rate until you're playing against Batra.
Roshan, John, jumping in a bit too early though. Van will manage to get out, but he doesn't have Stampede or Blink available. Gabby just going to keep going, but Van does jump in again. March, there's the Aegis. Who picks it up though? It's still on the deck. Nando, he runs in, but Tim's the one to pick up the Aegis. Now they are dropping low to Nando on this gyrocopter. Gabby can't afford to die. He does get away in the nick of time, but they lost KP, they lost March, and they're going to lose that Aegis on Tim's. No buybacks on either March or KP. Tim's, he does. He'll use it immediately.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Gabby will buy a BKB now. Gets rid of the Battle Fury. It's a long time coming. He jumps in straight away on the Venom, but the Venom manages to survive. No, Laguna, it will burst him down, but Armel to get the hell out of there. Gabby trying to hold them back and save his Lena. Now the Ancient is almost exposed. The T4s are so darn low, but Gabby trying to go after Jamesy. Moonlight Shadow will be there. Still Signal moving forward. They almost find the dieback on Tim, and they do. Bannerboy though will end up finding him, but he buys back immediately. And now Nando falling very, very low to Gabby, but they find Armel Molina. He'll buy back as as well. Gabby, you cannot afford to die like this. He's getting perma-stunned up. He's muted as well, but he turns around and man fights. It's not going to be enough, though. He dies, but he'll buy back. Now the Ancient half HP, right back in. Nando's so darn low. Grims as well, almost about to die, but they want the kill. The Ancient is on. Oh my. What a
game
to
one.
the game. 50 minutes in, John, it does end, and for the first time today, the gyrocopter works. There you have it.
Of all teams to make the gyrocopter work for us, it's Signal. I don't know what to say. I don't.